So welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to test two irons that have been nominated in our previous comments by you, the viewers. We've got the G430 from Ping, which has been an incredibly popular iron this year so far, against the T350 from Titleist. This one is going to be definitely very interesting to see the results of. Both been fantastic irons so far. So let's get in that Trackman bay and see the numbers. Remember, if you like our videos, please hit that subscribe button and tell all your golfing friends. So we have got T350 in the bay. I'm going to go with this first. It's been a very popular iron. This kind of new iron from Titleist from August has worked really well. We've just seen some insane numbers off of it. I think one of the things that's really interesting about this iron is that the forged face, that kind of soft feel with such an easy to hit iron, has been quite a revelation. Not many brands have done that. I think looking back, I think the most successful of creating that sort of soft forged feel has been Mizuno. So I've got the Nippon Modus going in here today, 105 stiff. We're going to compare it. Ping do this shaft as well, so it's a good comparison in terms of the shaft. It's a little bit, maybe a little bit light for me. We've talked about this before. I tend to use Project X. Ball wise, we've got in here the RCT balls, so Pro V1X today, RCT. So that's the ball that Titleist have worked with Trackman on to help make sure we get all the spin numbers nice and correct. And it would be really interesting, this one, because these irons, G430 has obviously been out at the beginning of the year. T350 only came out in August, and the numbers that we saw of G430, the kind of the consistency and the quality of that product in some of the previous reviews and kind of the tests we've done, it's just been absolutely insane. The customers have loved it. But since August, since 350 came out, it's definitely one that people have been comparing to, and kind of it's been swaying and maybe nicking a bit of that G430 customer. So let's get in. Obviously, please be kind on the comments on this. This ball is not an iron that I might want to hit. I'm expecting some lively results on here. So let's get in and hit some shots. In terms of look, you know, I think that's one thing that's been successful with 350. That chrome finish, that frame in the golf ball, that Titleist iconic look has been very well thought out by Titleist. Oh, need to move that ground a little bit lower. Hit that a little bit. We're filming early in the morning today. I'll make that excuse and explain that real duck hook, fat duck hook that was in there. There we go, a little bit clickier. So again, my favourite phrase, hot and clicky. My two favourite phrases, as we know. That definitely is with 350. Numbers wise there, club head speed 92, carry 186. It's a hot iron, it's pretty good. Ball speed. Chris, if you can just bring up, there we go, ball speed. Just go back into that for me, Chris, and just bring up smash factor as well. Yeah, fascinating. One more I want to look up. You know I like this number on my iron. So if you just drop that down and just bring bottom right-hand corner there, land angle. You can tell what's always fascinating is different fitters. When we come into our studios, different fitters like looking at different information, which is always quite interesting. And I'm a big one with land angle, especially when we're looking at irons. A little bit thin. What was ball speed on that one? 122, 123. So it's a good iron. Smashes a bit down. The feeling off an iron like this is pretty solid. It's pretty, you know, it's a good quality Titleist product. I think they're going to capture a bit more of the market than they have in previous with T300, although T300 was a brilliant iron. You're not going to necessarily get any wins for fat, that is for sure. Okay, one more. The drop-off's not too bad, actually. You see how bad of it then. You better swing. That's when you start to get one, isn't it? Look how high that's gone. And that's what you'd expect to see. So with this type of iron, I'm expecting it to really fly high for someone with my sort of speed, but also for a player that is looking for a product that maybe wants to pop the ball up a little bit quicker, earlier, a little bit more power, a little bit more distance. Ball speed off this is really, really good. Land angle 54 in that last one. So overall, T350 is a solid product, but I think it's going to be really interesting when we bang this against the G430. So let's grab G430. So we're going to match it. The reason we've picked this shaft is mainly because in both Ping and Titleist, the Modus comes as a standard stock custom option. So it's always difficult when we do compare brands because not all of them have exactly the same shafts. And as much as we can, in the build center, we can give you custom options, I think what would be really unfair in these videos is to give you something that Ping maybe don't put in there themselves. So if we did that, it'd be very difficult for you to test and kind of get a fair reflection of that. So G430, a duller finish. It's that classic Ping finish on the head. It's actually shinier than it has been in the past, actually, but the technology that they've put in this iron has been quite incredible. Designed for, I mean, this is Ping's bread and butter, if I'm honest with you. It's an iron, it's a style of iron where they just churn it out every couple of years, a little bit more technology, but what it always is good, well built, good quality. You know what you're going to get. 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, it performs. So here we go, G430 with the Modus. Nice looking iron this, really nice looking iron. What I like about this, before I hit it, I've just put that down and it's just reminded me that where this is really good is from the top line, there's a perception that although there is super forgiveness on the top, and it is fairly chunky when you get up close to it, actually what's really good about this iron is when you put it down behind the ball, it looks clean, it looks classic. There's no kind of back bit sticking out that you've seen in some previous irons. So it actually looks a really, really good, almost a player's type looking iron from the top. And there we go. We like to get that, the obligatory fat and horrible and rubbish. I need to make sure that Chris starts to use that edit button a little bit more on some of these. There we go. High and right. I mean, that one is absolutely shot to the moon. 53, carry similar, ball speed similar, pretty good that. There's a real misunderstanding sometimes that the Ping product hasn't got the technology in that some of the other brands have, that because they don't bring out irons every single year or the same replacement iron every single year. It's like some guys believe that the technology doesn't change. But yet what they do seem to do, Ping, is provide a product that just does what it says on the tin. It knows what it is. It knows what it does. From a fitter's point of view, it's an absolute dream to fit with. A little bit toey again. And these are the ones that are always interesting, right? So shut the face on that a little bit. Didn't feel very good. Gone miles. I mean, phew. See if we can get hold of one. That felt solid. Like really solid. 200-yard carry. Oh, sorry. Before we get any complaints, Chris, 199.4. So not quite 200. I'm now tempted to see if we could just step on one. Land angle. What's brilliant about that is not only is it carried 200 yards just shy of, it's landed at 54 degrees. So this thing's launched to the moon, come down with a butterfly, like a butterfly with sore feet. Absolutely insane. Insane. Okay, come on. I think it's time we, before anyone else comments on it, I mean, every time I start one of these videos, I talk with, this might not be an iron that I would play. I've been a golf pro for many years, and it's always you go into the forge. I think now's a feeling of time where I should be open to a few more options, and G430 might be a new one. I think I need to carry a 6 iron. A little bit toey again, a little bit turned over. Just got to stop on that one. Okay, one more, and then we'll have a look at the numbers. Yeah, some seriously good ball speeds, great land angles. Let's have a look at these numbers in detail and see how they compare to each other. Okay, so let's dive into the numbers. I'm going to bring up the wonderful dispersion chart. Look at, when you're hitting these shots, sometimes you hope that your cameraman deletes the real fat one so that when you bring it up on the screen that no one actually sees it. So there's the dispersion of, look how bad that was. That's embarrassing. I'm going to delete that one as well, just for my own sanity. Okay, so if I'm looking at these irons, the consistency and the tightness of the dispersion isn't that good. That might be, let's be honest, it is down to me. One thing that's quite obvious there is G430 is longer than T350. We work on, remember, we're working on carry distances. Average 176. We had a few ropey ones. I actually thought they felt all right. The one I've turned over here is probably skewing it a little bit with the T350. 186 yard carry. Down here, 170. It's kind of coming out 170, 175 with the odd one that pops. Now, this is the problem with a speed of 90, 95 mile an hour clubhead speed, is that occasionally you are going to get one that is going to pop way further than you expect. So you're going to get that all of a sudden maybe 5, 10, 15 extra yards, which isn't necessarily that good with this type of iron. It's why these irons work with that slightly slower swing speed. It's why it's designed for that swing speed, because it's trying to get that extra distance for you. And you can see that with both of these irons, that the long one that I hit, I'm going to ignore this one on the left mainly because it was a bit pulley, so it skews the data a bit. But this one out here, it's gone 183, and my sort of average in here, these three, is 173. So it's a 10-yard carry. Now, that's missing the green long on most golf courses. Similar G430, overall 190. So overall, it's sort of 14 yards longer, G430. 200-yard carry, there was the one I absolutely ripped out the screws. Unbelievable. Felt fantastic. These ones are a bit more common. So 190 carry. Both left and right. Dispersion was dreadful. It might be down to shaft as much as it is me, but that is a massive difference. Land angle is up on G430. Carry is up. Ball speed is considerably up there. You see a jump of 122 all the way up to 131. I like T350. I think it's been a brilliant addition to the Titleist iron range this year. But I think if you're going into this sort of iron market, clearly from these numbers that I've tested now, is that G430 is an absolute clear winner. So, hey, look, let's do our normal comparison. We've got the look, the feel, customization, the price. I think straight away, the look's an interesting one because it is that subjective element to it. I think when you look at T350, it looks like a quality iron, it looks like a Titleist. That's my personal preference. So I would give Titleist the look. But as I said when I was hitting it, there's something really cool about the G430. It kind of gives this, when you pick it out of the bag, it gives this feel of confidence and easy to hit. When you put it behind the ball, it just looks classy. It looks like a quality iron. So I'd pick T350 in terms of on the look. However, I think G430 is great, so it's really close. The feel, I think they both feel very similar. Even though you've got a forged face in the T350, there's still a solid, powerful strike when you hit it. So I'm going to call that a tie. They're very different, so comparing them is quite hard. I think they both felt good, which would be where I'd sit with it. So let's call that a draw. Customized options, well, Ping are the kings and queens of custom fit, so their custom options are fantastic. They could always do with a few more shaft options, I think, with Ping. We don't build Ping. No one does, so that's a bit of a stickler for us. But, you know, they have enough options. Their detail's fantastic. Their quality of build, their speed, everything about them is brilliant. So I think I'm going to give that a tie as well. So the T350 is sort of edging it a little bit, but you know, we haven't got to the two big ones yet, which is price and performance. Price-wise, G430 hands down beats T350. 350 is a brilliant iron, but it's not cheap. For the money, G430 is going to absolutely destroy 350 in terms of the price. And I think when you're getting the extra carry, the extra yardage out of that, you may even need to spend less because you might need less irons. You might need a few more wedges at the bottom end, but you might need less irons at the top end. So in terms of building a bag of G430 versus building a bag of T350, you're probably going to spend a few quid less on the Ping bag. And then there's overall performance. Well, overall, it's hands down. The numbers don't lie. Trackman's not telling us anything that we, we can't see there. It's clear to me that the G430 for me has outperformed T350 in the elements of carry, ball speed, land angle. Everything about the G430 has been an absolute quality iron. So therefore, that's going to win on our performance test. So overall, G430 just nicks it from the T350. So guys, I hope that was useful. It was good to hit different product. It was great, and I hope that those guys that have put that product in the comments box appreciate that review. Please write what you thought when you've watched it, whether you liked it, what you didn't like, if you've got a set of T350s or a G430s, if it stacks up to what you're seeing on the golf course, that would be really good information to hear. And remember, if there's something that you want us to test, you want us to kind of compare or do something in the bay on Trackman, anything you like, we do these verses and we do these reviews, which are great, but there's anything we can do. We can hit drivers, we can hit fairways, we can do pretty much what you guys would like to see. Remember, this channel is really about you, the viewer. So it's really making sure that whatever you're watching is contextual. It gives you benefit on the golf course with your golf game, helps you maybe buy your next set of irons or your next driver. So we really want to make sure that the content that we're putting out there is as rich as possible and helpful to you, our golfing viewer. And remember guys, it doesn't get anywhere unless you hit that subscribe button and tell all your golfing friends.